Hello, gorgeous souls, and welcome again to Storytime with Jay. Today, we're reading from the E Myth Revisited by Michael E. Gerber. I have to say that this is very yellow. It's a very old book. I've had it for a very long time. And I read it a long time. I think it's 2000, 1995 was the first time, then 2001. And I remember it was in the days when I had my salon and I was working really hard and long hours looking after my clients, which I loved. And someone suggested that I read this book. I think her name was Trish. So thanks, Trish. Um, but then I read this book and it literally changed something in my brain. And it started an evolution in me to create a business rather than just somewhere where I worked. So I'm going to read from here, and I hope that it is profound for you, but I highly recommend reading it. Introduction. I think that maybe inside any business, there's someone slowly going crazy. True. Joseph Heller, something happened. If you own a small business, or if you want to own a small business, this book was written for you. It represents many thousands of hours of work we've done at eMyth worldwide over the past 24 years. It illustrates a belief created and supported by the experiences we've had with thousands of small business owners with whom we've worked. It's a belief that says small businesses in the United States simply does not work. The people who own them do. And what we've also discovered is that the people who own small businesses in this country work far more than they should for the return that they're getting. Indeed, the problem is not only that the owners of small businesses in this country don't work, the problem is that they're doing the wrong work. And as a result, most of their businesses end up in chaos, unmanageable, unpredictable, and unrewarding. Just look at the numbers. Businesses start and fail in the US at an increasingly staggering rate. I'm not going to read the statistics because they're so old, but the upshot is within 5 years, more than 80% of them, and at that time it was 800,000, will have failed. The rest of the bad news is that if you own a small business that's managed to survive for 5 years or more, don't breathe a sigh of relief, because more than 80% of small businesses that survive the first 5 years will fail in the second five. And why is this? Why do so many people go into business only to fail? What lessons aren't they learning? Why is it that with all the information available today on how to be successful in small business, so few people really are? This book answers those questions. It's about 4 profound ideas, which, if you understand and take them to heart, will give you the power to create extraordinarily exciting and personally rewarding small business. Ignore them, and you will likely join the hundreds of thousands of people every year who pour their energy and capital and life into starting a small business and fail, or many others who struggle along with for years simply trying to survive. Here are the ideas. Number 1. There is a myth in this country, I call it the E myth, which says that small businesses are started by entrepreneurs risking capital to make profit. This is simply not so. The real reason people start business has little to do with entrepreneurship. In fact, this belief in the entrepreneurial myth is the most important factor in the devastating rate of small business failure today. Understanding the E-myth and applying that understanding to the creation and development of a small business can be the secret to any business's success. Idea 2. There is a revolution going on today in American small business. I call it the turnkey revolution. Not only is it changing the way we do business in this country and throughout the world, but it's changing who goes into business, how they do it, and the likelihood of their survival. And number 3, at the heart of the turnkey revolution is a dynamic process we at eMyth Worldwide call the business development process. When it is systemized and applied purposely by a small business owner, the business development process has the power to transform any small business into an incredibly effective organization. Our experience has shown us that when small business incorporates this process into every activity and uses it to control its destiny, that company stays young and thrives. When a small business ignores this process, as most unfortunately do, it commits itself to management by luck, stagnation, and ultimately failure. The consequences are inevitable. Idea 4. The business development process can be systematically applied by any small business owner in a step-by-step method that incorporates the lessons of the turnkey revolution into the operation of that business. This process will then become a predictable way to produce results and vitality in any small business whose owner is willing to give it the time and attention it requires to flourish. This book is then about producing results, not simply how to do it, because both of us know that books like that won't work. People do. And what makes people work is the idea worth working for, along with a clear understanding of what needs to be done. It's only when such an idea becomes firmly integrated into the way you think and operate your business that how to do it becomes meaningful. This book is about such an idea that says your business is nothing more than a distinct reflection of who you are. If your thinking is sloppy, your business will be sloppy. If you're disorganized, your business will be disorganized. If you're greedy, your employees will be greedy, giving you less and less of themselves and always asking for more. If your information about what needs to be done in your business is limited, your business will reflect limitation. So if your business is to change as it must continuously to thrive, you must change first. If you are unwilling to change, your business will never be capable of giving you what it wants. The first change that needs to take place has to do with the idea of what business really is and what it takes to make one work. Once you fully understand the relationship every owner have with his or her business, if it is to work, I can assure you that your business and your life will take on new vitality and new meaning. You'll know why so many people fail to get what they want from businesses of their own. You'll see the almost magical opportunities available to anyone who starts small business in the right way with a true understanding with the necessary tools. I've seen it happen thousands of times in every kind of business imaginable with people who knew nothing about business when they started. My wish is that by the time you are through reading this book, it will have started happening for you. And then I chose a section 9. I've jumped, obviously, there's lots of chapters. It's called Working on Your Business, Not in It. And this is something that's bandied around a lot in the business world these days, but obviously it was a fundamental back in the 2000s. Form is only a beginning. It is the combination of feelings and a function, shapes and things that come to one in connection with the discoveries made as one goes into wood that pull together and give it meaning to form. James Krenoff, A Cabinet Maker's Notebook. It is crucial that you understand the point I'm about to make. For if you do, neither your business nor your life will ever be the same. The point is, your business is not your life. Your business and your life are two totally separate things. At its best, your business is something apart from you rather than a part of you, with its own rules and its own purposes. An organism, you might say, that will live or die according to how well it performs its sole function, to find and keep customers. Once you recognize the purpose of your life is not to serve your business, but the primary purpose of your business is to serve your life, you can then go to work on your business rather than in it, with full understanding of why it's absolutely necessary for you to do so. This is where you can pull up the model of the franchise prototype to work for you. When working on your business rather than in your business will become the central theme of your daily activity, the prime catalyst for everything you do from this moment forward. Pretend that the business you own or want to own is a prototype or will be the prototype for 5,000 more just like it. That your business is going to serve as a model for 5,000 more just like it. Not almost like it, but just like it. Perfect replicates, clones. In other words, pretend that you're going to franchise your business. No, I said pretend. I'm not saying that you should. That isn't the point here, unless, of course, you want it to be. Further now, you know what the game is, the franchise game. Understand that there are rules to follow if you are to win. Number 1, the model will provide consistent value to your customers, employees, suppliers, and lenders beyond what they expect. Number 2, the model will be operated by people with the lowest possible level of skill. Number 3, the model will stand out as a place of impeccable order. Number 4, all work in the model will be documented in an operations manual. Number 5, the model will provide a uniformly predictable service to the customer. Number 6, the model will utilize a uniform color, dress, and facilities code. Let's take a look at each of these rules in turn. So then he goes on to explain those, and I think you can read that yourself. But just knowing that when we systemize our businesses, not just in theory, but so that it can be replicated, it makes a huge difference because it's then a saleable asset. That's my words, not his. And the other thing the reason I chose that chapter was because the thing for me was that a lot of people buy themselves a job. And that was the number one hit me in the face comment when I first read this book. And I too had bought myself a job and I was working myself to the bone. And I didn't own a business. And so when I went forth into my second business, I created a business with an operations manual and I grew that to multi 7 figures. So it's possible to do it at every level. And now, as I go into my own coaching business, I have to remember that I'm not buying myself a job, even though I love working with my clients. So it's still in the back of my mind. This business has to be saleable. It can be replicated. How can I do that? So I hope that helps. It's a very profound read. It's a very easy read, as you can hear. It's like you're having a conversation with him. Of course, some of the information is a little out of date, but you know what? It's still relevant today. I hope you enjoy.